All right, I don't know how shadowy this is going to be, but you can see my brother here got his deer, and we're going to just do a little bit of skinning. Now, the one thing we got to remember is I am not a professional. What we do is just the way we do it. It gets the job done. It's not like you'd see your normal butcher do it because we are not butchers, we're hunters. So I'm just going to go through this. Hopefully you'll be able to see the basic thing. The toughest part about this deer is going to be doing it around his anus and getting his penis and his testicles up and out without having them be cut open or cause any kind of contamination. So that's what we're going to try and accomplish here. So we're going to get at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start down here and I'm going to go up. Wayne's going to do his side the way he wants to do, and then we're going to just come up, and you kind of want to, if you can get it here without, once you can get in start without getting the meat. So here I'm just going to follow up kind of where the white meets the brown, and I'm just going to go right up as far as I can, and then I'm going to start skinning out that side. And the big thing when the back legs, watch this spot here, and you see where Wayne is over here, what he's doing here, there's a gland there and there's a gland here. Don't cut those glands. It stinks, plus it can actually contaminate your meat. And then you want to just, I'm just coming around the hide. Careful not to cut this tendon. You don't want to cut the tendon, because if you cut the tendon, your deer will fall off the hoist. So we're just kind of going to go around and do the best we can. Hair wise, some people like, oh, we don't want to get any hair on it. I mean, we don't do too bad. Usually the hair is, we have some hair on it, but it's not too bad. But once you get started and once you get past usually this part, it stays pretty clean. So it's a nice deer, probably 3-year-old buck. Got him this morning. Had his head down, walking along. If you want, it depends on what you'd like to do. We do all our own processing and everything. So if you don't do any of that stuff, take it to your local meat shop and get them to do it. And because there's lots of guys out there that do it and do a good job. Really hard to do this without stepping in front of the camera, but we'll show you as we go along. So I'm going to come towards the middle, towards where his penis and his stuff is, and then I'm going to come down and I'm going to kind of skin around that. And you want to skin around it like this. I want to come down. This buck was definitely in a rut because he was head down, but he wasn't running or anything. He was leisurely walking along. So, but nice deer, good deer. Yeah, nothing to complain about this one. He's heavy. So now I've come around, you can see here, I've come down around here, and I'm going to skin this back, and then I'm just going to lay it over the top. So you just kind of cut your way back and skin just like you do skinning the hide off, and you just kind of pull and skin this back. Look at that fat bugger. Yeah. Well, at least they're healthy. And you just keep skinning back. And keep going back. You'll see where it enters into his body here. And we're going to split this after. But right now I'm going to skin it back so it hangs over the back. And then I'm going to skin around the anus area. because we're gonna have to cut that out after. So I'm just gonna skin just like we normally skin anything. It's always tough skinning right at the top here. So I'm just going to put those back there for a minute, and then I want to cut it around here. Cut that way. Dart, lots of hair there. Okay, now I'm coming back to his butt here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I've skinned down around the anus, and that's all connected here, so I don't want to mess with that because you don't want to contaminate anything. So the way I do it is I just skin down till I get to the tail, and we're going to cut the tail here at this joint somewhere in here. There's a joint, and it always takes me a minute to find it. But once I find it, we can take the tail off. I guess I didn't find it. There, let me get it. You know, we're definitely not keeping the hide on this, so I always put holes in the hide to help myself do things a little bit better. Where's that? And it's good to always have tools around that you could use to get through some of that bone. There we go. And you're not dulling your knife or anything like that, so we're going to get there, and then you just keep going. And now I'm not going to come back and touch any of this till we skin this down. So we're going to skin this down next, and then we'll come back to what we're going to do here. Okay? So we'll just keep skinning now, and then we'll come back. Shot about an hour ago, and you want to get the hide off them as quick as you possibly can because of the heat, and that's why we want to get this. We'll split it also up here once we get this all done. We'll split it all out, and we want the insides out of it within an hour or so of the when you do it. So we're fortunate here. We hunt pretty close to where we live. Well, in fact, we hunt where I live, but so we're at it right away. And make sure too to cut the throat when you're when you're there. You want them to bleed out as much as you can, because the more they bleed out, it seems like the better the meat is. So, and we've learned all this from our dad. So if you're wondering where did we learn it, we learned it from our dad. So, and it just every year we have a really nice quality of meat But we took the hide off and at the neck, and we're going to take the head off. So how we do that is we're going to cut anywhere along the joint here. I think we cut his throat somewhere around here, Elaine.
Yeah, somewhere right.
Yeah, so we're gonna, some people, I like the neck roast. I got a couple neck roasts, but this guy's kind of high, so we're gonna take and we're gonna cut right around here. Again, we're not professionals, so we just do what we do. And this is the way I do it. And I'll take it right down to his bone. I'll get the skin so it's not connected any way left. Okay, so there we go. More blood coming out of it. And we're right down to the bone, I think. I have brought a, where do I keep it, Wayne?
What's that?
My green saw right there. I brought a saw with me, and
Yep.
so then you just cut it there with a saw or with a knife or twist it, whatever. Where's the knives?
Put mine up here.
Okay, and then we'll take that off, and then I like to have the head off it because it's easier to work with. There we go. A little bloody, but they can be washed off. All right, so now we got the head off. Now I'm going to work on the butt. And I want to get the butt all ready before I go and do anything with the gut here. So I want to prepare. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by trying to get this peeled back as best I can in there. Trying not to cut anything because I want to work around it. And then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to work on this where his ass is. So these aren't connected. Well, they're sort of connected, but they're not really. I guess that doesn't make any sense, does it? But what I'm going to do here is I want to come up and I want to try and get some of the skin. There. Give me something to grab onto here. And then I start by going in right here. You can see there's so much fat on here. I'm having a tough time getting in there. But once I get in, and you want to keep a hold of this, don't let it go inside if you can't help it. Again, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get at the butt here. And now that I got the butt, I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut around the butt. So here you can see there's lots of fat, so we're going to get in through that and then put a little edge on our knife, so that's good. And I'm going to hang that back up front. And I'm just going to go in here till I can see the cavity that this sits in. And then I'm just going to work my way around that cavity. And then I noticed my brother has some zip ties. So that's beautiful if you can have these along. I had one the other day. So you take these zip ties. What I like to do, just again, you're just wanting to keep from contaminating the meat that you got. So what I like to do, you can do this with a string. I think there's even some things out there called butt out or whatever. And it's for doing your deer butt, but I just like to do it this way. Again, it's my own way. And then you just bring it, see there's the anus end, area, and I just tighten that right up. Now nothing will come out once I go to pull it through the stomach when I gut. So we're just gonna go in, and we're gonna do that. And you can see where, as you pull on it, you can see where you could cut it loose. And there we go. It's coming pretty good. I'll go under here a bit. You can hear it pull away. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up like this. If I can get there. I'm going to start so much fat on this guy. What we want to come back here and I'm going to bring this guy back over now. And if you see over here, you see this cartilage right here? This is what I'm working back to his butt. Now some guys will cut it right off before you do it, but there's a way you can do it. I'm going to see if I can accomplish it right now. But there's a way, you see how I'm working my way back to where the butt was? We should be able to cut the meat right on top of here again. All right, you see that? Good job. And then you just kind of cut down. We left that here on. Look at that fat, that's the problem. Get rid of some of this so we can work a little bit better. There we go. So then I just keep coming back on either side of that. And I know I can work it to the back here where we're cutting it. And again, not pretty, but we're getting there. There's so much fat on this deer that it's making it difficult. Okay, and so I cut back down to there. And then if you bring this up and you go right back into there, there's a little thing I can get right in there. And there it is. We got his testicles out. Which is important because you don't want that stuff to contaminate your meat either. And you can see here, it's tough to see, but I got a little valley in there. And so that we'll split that in a few minutes. And then we're going to pull that out when the stomach comes up. So that's my next thing over here. We're going to split down here. But be careful, don't cut too far. Right? Because we don't want to get into the gut. You can see here it coming apart. And I want to try and get this as best I can, because the more I get this split, the easier the anus is going to come out. So we're just going to work our way here and see how it goes. That's pretty good. I think we should be okay there. I can see the bone now. And we can cut it now, but the only thing I have issues with cutting it right now is that you could cut that anus area out. So we're going to come here. Next we're going to look at doing this. We're going to get the bucket ready. And we're going to come right down. And we're going to put this guy in. And we're going to have to go in here next. I'm going to slice down here. I'm going to down the brisket so I can break that open. You see? Okay, and I'm trying to get this open, and when I get that down, that'll be good. What you want is you want to create a place for those guts to come out, right, and make it easier for the guts to come out of the deer. I'm just being very careful here because I want to split this brisket, but I don't want to have the guts come out yet, and I don't want to poke the stomach. And there's a spot here you can search for. It's a cartilage right there, and I'm going to go as that far, and that's it. And then I'm going to try and get something started here, with a different knife. And then I'm going to try and cut down there with my saw. And we'll see how successful we become.
Let me get over here, Hugh.
Yeah.
Here's my heavier knife here, Hugh.
No, I was just. This is what I did last time, and it seems to work good. Get it started with this. Okay. If I brought the other battery. Shit. I think I'm through, eh? Looks like I'm through. So then I'm going to take that and I'm going to make sure that that's split open. Right down. Because pretty soon the messy part's going to start. So what I want to do is I want to get started here. And then my brother has this great knife with a gut hook on it. And we're going to start. Make sure we're over the bucket when we're going in. Oh, do we want to put the hide in there, Wayne?
No, that's fine. We can throw it.
Okay. And we want to get through this here. I'm going to try and... Okay. That, and then we're going to take, what I like to do here, and it's a great trick my dad taught me, is to come down on these flaps, because they're just burger meat anyways, and just to trim it down. You can see that the stomach and everything is starting to come. And then I'm going to come down on this side. Alright, and you see they're getting ready to go, but we're going to have to help them a little. And look at the fat in this deer is just amazing. They've been all like this year. It's just been crazy. And so we want to work our way with these things. And this is that intestine I was telling you about that we're going to pull through. And I just want to see how good a job I did. We'll see in a minute. There it is. All come through. Pretty slick. I like that way. And I like this fact about cutting these flaps back because, again, they're just basically sausage for us. Some people make burger, but sausage for us. And so it's just easy to do.
Boy, I can't believe the fat in there.
Yeah, I know. Oops. That's not your tenderloin. That's up here. Right. Yeah. Okay, good. So, and then I just start cutting on the walls of the here, and that's the liver. We don't eat the liver, we eat the heart and the tenderloins, and that's about it for deer insides anyways. And then you just keep cutting, and you can see the weight of the you see the weight there is pulling everything with it, and so you just keep cutting down in here till everything this way. Wasn't shot like mine. No blood. You drained it all. So you keep going down till you get to the part where you can cut it off the esophagus. And there's probably some more blood that come out. for the heart area. And you just keep going in here. You'll see it as you go where it's connected there, and you just keep going. And if everything works out the way it should, you should have a heart right here. And just gonna take some of the stuff off this heart. I'd like to grab it before it falls in. It's a little easier to work with. There. And that's all falling in. That's the lungs, the stomach, all that. And I'm just working on the heart here. And there we go. It just seems to me a little bit easier to work with when you have it hanging there.
And there's the candy.
And there's the candy. That's right. It's our favorite part of the deer. When we shoot a deer, a new deer, is heart. And it looks like that's hardly been touched at all. And I think what happened, Wayne, is when you shot this one, it went in through the neck and out through that spot and didn't damage anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty nice, clean deer. So there's the heart. And we'll set that off to the side. And we'll just gonna put.
Set it on the knife thing there, Hugh.
Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. All right. And then what I like to do is just clean this, and then if you look, there we go. We're just gonna clean some of this leftover what I cut off, and it's nice and clean in there. And the cleaner it is in there, the less chance you got of your meat being bad. So I think, Wayne, you like to hang yours for how many days?
Well, usually 2 or 3 days.
2 or 3 days and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the saw now, and we're going to try and split right here. Because again, just like when and we're going to get some of this fat off. And just like when it's important to slaughter your deer as soon as you shoot, as quick as you possibly can shoot it. It's as quick to also get those, the pelvis apart, so it thaws. That's just gobs of fat. Look at that, eh? And so we're going to take that's the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the fat off. And we'll split this right out. So again, the more you have it split open, the better it's going to, the quicker it's going to cool, and the better your meat's going to be. So next, I'm going to try and get that top pelvis bone. I think if we come right down there, eh? Yeah, should be good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, it just has to be done so you can. There we go. That turned out good. So we just want to make sure that that bone's broken. It doesn't have to be like spread right out. It just has to be apart. Because now this is going to cool in here because you got a space in here. You got a space in here. And this is all should cool. It's great weather right now. We're about minus between 4 and 11, like 11 and 12 at night. So it's perfect hanging weather. And you'll hang it in a shop here until it's ready to go. And then one more thing, with getting the loins out, the tenderloins, basically it's you find the backbone, and you don't want to go too far. Do you want to take them out yourself, Wayne?
No, you can do it.
It's hard to see them right. So much fat. So this one's a little fattier than what I'm used to, so it's kind of hard to see where the tenderloins are, but I'm working on it right now. Hopefully I can get you some good loins out of here. Don't go too deep and screw up in your back. There we go. And we want to get these loins out. And when you first do your deer is the heart and the tenderloins. After that, it can just hang for as long as you need it to hang. And for us, this will be our last one we'll be doing this year.
Yep.
We're all done. Dad's done, Wayne's now done, and I'm done. So I'm glad I got a chance to record this. Again, we are not saying we are professionals at this. We're just guys who hunt every year of our lives, probably since we were, I don't know,
5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah. I think I shot my first chicken. I was 4 or 5 years old, so. All right. Okay, so that's basically it. I hope we showed you some of the things to do. You might want to improve on some of the things yourself. Well, later on we'll cut off the legs on the front where the hooves are and stuff. We'll do that a little later. I think my battery's getting low, but on the on my machine. So basically that's it. It looks pretty good. There's some fat we're going to trim out of there in a few minutes here. The cavity's nice and clean. It's spread out. You can see the steam coming off the animal. That's why you want to split it. That's why we want to have that all split up. So that's about it. Thanks for joining me on this edition of The Fat Archer.